It is the game of the weekend. This is huge. It's a London derby, but with both teams on equal points in the Premier League table and both fighting for the same thing. They're still all going for that Champions League spot. Is it fair to say that whoever loses this game almost counts themselves out of that race? Yeah,
I think you're right. I think West Ham really, they looked like they were right there and then they had a little blip. Jason mentioned that before. But I just think they're so hard to play against, West Ham. I just love what David Moyes is doing there. But Tottenham, obviously with Kane and Son on the top of the pitch, you never know. You know, if they have a good day, I mean, to be fair, they probably should have got something at Old Trafford the way that they played. If it wasn't for Ronaldo, they probably would have. But I just think that game literally could be anything. But I just think with Kane and Son, I think they get something. And also Thursday, obviously West Ham went to extra time. I think they'll be a bit tired. So favourites are obviously Tottenham being at home and not playing as long. OK, well, let's start with the away side then. Let's start with West Ham after last night's result, because the London Stadium was absolutely incredible last night. But as Owen pointed out, extra time for these players who already, we saw Antonio and Cresswell come off injured in the match at the weekend. They were both fit enough to start last night. But how much of a factor could that play coming into this game?
I think it's a huge factor in terms of fatigue, the amount of games they've had, 120 minutes. And not only that, the adrenaline of such a big game and the emotion that goes in it drains you a little bit. You'll know, when you play and it's such a big game, whether you're the fittest player or not, there's something that just runs through your body that fatigues you quicker than normal. And it's one of those games last night that some of the players, and you saw Cresswell, I think it was more cramp they went down with last night. So they've had to work hard last night. And I think that will play a huge part in the game at Tottenham. And Tottenham at home, I think, are strong. And as you mentioned, Kane and Son together, I think their partnership, their link-up, I think it's going to be a Tottenham win at the weekend.
Look, last night's win for West Ham is probably one of the biggest in the club's recent history, Owen. Farah points out that kind of feeling after one of those big victories. Do you think the players will have got much sleep last night, and how does that impact how they train today? Because David Moyes wasn't giving them a day off today. No, and to be fair, a lot of those players would have never been in a game like that big, you know, against a team. They've won the Europa League 6 times, you know, so I think they definitely wouldn't have slept. Their families would have been annoying them. They would have wanted to have drinks celebrating. It will have affected probably training today.